John O'Brien at the Watertown, Wisconsin Research and Educational Blocks. We're going to talk a little bit about fall planting of grains and growth habits and things that people aren't aware of, don't think about, don't know. So we've been in extreme drought here. We're extreme wet up until the tide turned and flipped in early August. So again, these were planted and the growths would normally be about twice as tall as they are. But again, they sat there forever before getting out of the ground. We've had very little rain throughout the post-plant cycle here, but I'm going to show you what it looks like and some talking points. So here's oats. So again, you have a pretty good view of this block and what oats look like. Then we're going to move in here and we're going to have some triticale. And so people know that follow me that I like triticale. And again, the oats are slightly taller at this point this year than the triticale, right? And then we come out here in the rye blocks. And again, I say this, and I ask you guys, are you planting rye for the fall, or are you planting it for the spring? And this isn't new. I mean, even when we fall plant rye, it's way, way, way smaller than the spring grains. And for fall planting, the concepts are this. Rye's supposed to grow little, focus on making roots. That's how it lives the fight another day. And maybe that's not the right terminology, but for next spring, we have spring regrowth. That's where it explodes. That's where it thrives. That's how it's built. So yeah, I see this all the time. Well, plant rye in the fall for your food plots. And again, I'm not saying don't do it, but again, you want to consider if you don't want to just rely on rye. And if you're wanting more tonnage and more bites per acre, you want to at least consider including a spring annual like oats or spring triticale or spring wheat to it, because otherwise you're going to see this. And so I've been doing grain trials for many, many, many years, and this is very typical of what you see. And I just want you guys to pause. Let this sink in. Think about it. I'll repeat one more time. If you want tonnage, you put cool season spring annuals for your grain sources if you're going to fall seed. It's designed to grow fast and it'll mature in about 60 days and it's not going to regrow next spring. Yes, there's some different varieties of oats and we're not going to cover that today. But when you get into the winter wheat, the winter rye, the winter triticale, you're not going to see the same yield because they're making roots. That's how they survive and regrow the following spring. Some talking points from John O'Brien at the Watertown, Wisconsin Research and Educational Blocks.